Are you pastel curious? This soft blendable medium is often first experienced in this block format. But how do the pencils measure up? Watch this to find out. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kristina Moyer and I'm an artist specializing in acrylic paints, but you'll see me dabble in all kinds of mediums here because it's fun. Why not? It motivates me, inspires me to create different things, and I don't want to stay stagnant as an artist. I want to keep growing and learning. That's what I'm about. So if that's what you're about, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and join my tribe. Feels weird to say a tribe, but anyways. Pastels like these are a little messy in this block format, but they're pretty good as a starter medium. They blend really well. You don't have to try to mix anything like water or anything like that. You could just put this right on the paper and start blending. And so it makes it kind of an easy starting point for somebody where you don't have to buy a bunch of extras, add-ons like brushes and canvas and have water jars and all these gadgets, easels, etc. You can literally just have the paper, the pastels, smudge with your fingers, and get an eraser. And that's really all you need to get started with this. That's probably also why I did a lot of this growing up in school and not a lot of painting. I guess maybe their budgets were pretty low, I'm not quite sure. So me and pastels, we go way back. But it's been a couple decades since I've really done any pastel projects. But just like the cycle of fashion, pastels have made a comeback and they're coming in new forms. And there's these pastel pencils like I'm using today. And there's also pan pastels. And yes, those are on my Amazon wish list. I'm very excited to give them a try, but they're not in the cart yet. So that's gonna be a little while till you see those here. But I am very interested in trying them. Oh yes, they look beautiful, bold, that strong pigment really excites me. But I don't love messy when it comes to wanting to do a project sitting on the couch or, you know, as you're traveling, like in the car. It'd be really messy to have these kind of loose powders just falling all over the place. So I'm really wanting these to be successful. So let's see if these meet the expectations I have for them, because if so, this could be a really exciting medium because I do love working with like a black canvas to start. There's something about starting with the black and bringing in the color from the darkest dark forward. I just like it. So let's dive into pastel pencils, specifically this brand here, Generals. Since 1889. Let's see if they have kept a good formula or made some innovations through the years. I don't know. I don't have the original 1889 unless this is the original. No more talking. Let's go. Okay, let's dive into this set of 12 pastel pencils. It's from a brand that is quite old, from 1889. It has erasers on each of the pencils, and it comes with a little sharpener, but I like using a sharpener that has a little catchment personally, so that's what I prefer. And it gives you some tips about the product, just some things about it. It says oil-free, best used on something with a bit of rough texture with the paper, so it's a little bit better for that. So here we go. Let's open this up. So I have opened this up before. I've already tried them and I've done a few projects with them, but I'd also like to try, I have not tried these on white paper yet. I've only tried them on this black mixed media paper. So this pad is a 6x8 inch, a really good size for just doing small studies of art pieces before you go on to a larger piece, or just something that's like a good like gift size for cards. So I'll show you the pieces I've done already. And using these pencils, I actually haven't really used the eraser, just really the pencils. Some of them I have sharpened, as you can see by the height of them. But I've done a few projects in here. I was hoping it would be a little bit more bold with the color, but could be that this particular paper is not rough enough. Overall, I do still like the look kind of has an interesting vibe. Here, we can pull this one in. So you can kind of see when I turn it on this angle where I've put the black on the paper. So black can still be effective on a black. When it's held flat, you don't see it very much, but when I hold it on the side, you can see where I've put the black, the areas that are darker. So these were just images like from my phone camera, just in my little gallery. And I just taped some wax paper in between to help protect. Now that this one's pulled off of that though, it's not going to be easy to keep it from smudging. So I might just want to add some fixative to that guy. And then I did this one here from a flower from our garden. So these are all personal photos. This one looks quite interesting when you pull it on different angles. So I think it works well on the black, on this particular black paper if you want this kind of mood. And if you want kind of stronger highlights, we might have to do something different. We might have to use another medium or potentially see if these kind of pastels would add some intensity to it. But if you're looking for kind of a moody type of look, this could be really helpful. So if you want to check out these materials, you can access these same ones. This one comes with 15 sheets. And so far, I think this is going to last quite a long time, given that I've done already 3 projects and they still look pretty new. I haven't had to sharpen all of them yet. So let's take a quick look at, I'll show you on a new page here how they compare. This I haven't done yet, comparing these guys to these guys right here. So, and this doesn't mean all pastel pencils, like this, these don't speak for every pastel pencil out there. These are just this particular brand. Other brands might be different. And keep in mind, the paper you're using it on does make a difference. So, you know, we're on this black mixed media paper vellum surface. It does feel pretty smooth. So maybe a rougher paper in black would be stronger in terms of pigments showing up. But let's just go through each one and I'll show you what it looks like. And if there's a matching color, we will put it side by side with this one. So I'm just going to do just like a little circle or something of each color. Oh, this one here needs to be sharpened. The other thing I see is, you know, getting a knife where you're trimming it off, you're going to waste less. So that's something to keep in mind. Right now, it's kind of wasteful to do it this way. Okay, I'm just going to do all of these first. So you do see when you put your first layer, it shows up pretty well. You can see the black, right? And keep going along here. Here's a blue. We call it indigo blue. So yeah, it's visible, but how visible is it? That's the question. We're going to compare it right now. Oh, sorry, that one was grass green. This next one is light peach. I think it's light peach. LT peach. So you can see as soon as you're trying to get that light peach in, it's not holding its strength maybe as much as you'd like it to. Violet. So this isn't necessarily the order it came in. This one here is light gray. Yeah, LT, so we're going with light. I found this light gray very useful. Gonna move my dots up here now. Actually, let's just slide down so we can make sure we're putting these pastels next to it. Okay, this is white. They also have a number next to them, so if you need to reference a similar color, this is 4414 white. Okay, so if you're purchasing them in the future, maybe they're changing out which ones they offer in the set. Orange. Okay. pink. Yeah, so everything's a little bit subdued. Maybe more so than I was hoping for, definitely. I also find, possibly because of the smoothness of the surface, that trying to layer multiple colors is a challenge. It's best kind of only layering one color with another color, or just having the single color and just almost like a paint by numbers scenario where you're painting the section the exact color that you want it to be. Okay, so we have all of our colors that come with the 12 set from Generals pastel pencils. These are the soft pastels. I think also I'd like to try different mediums on this particular paper. I want to try and see how oil pastels measure up. And I'd also like to try gouache, that kind of thing, just to see what is the best material for this paper and for the future if I'm creating a project for somebody, for myself, whatever, that I can use the best material. But you can see the range of colors that you get and vividness. So the white is definitely popping out the most. I found the blue pretty good. Even this red here, pretty strong. So let's try out these pastels here that I've had for who knows how long. And these are a chalk pastel and the top is gone. So, oh, here we go, Pro Art. And this has a 12 set as well. And so we will, this I've had 4 centuries. I'm not that old, but still, it's very, very long time. Okay, so we're going to go in with a black. I don't know if we have all the same colors, but we're going to see how these measure up. So let's go. Black probably isn't going to show us the most. Oh, that's interesting. Is this even a black? It looks brown when I match it up here. Interesting. That is the black. Looks a little bit lighter. All right, so this one's taking a win for me in terms of strength of black. So then we have a brown. I'm gonna take this one as the brown, not the same brown at all, but let's see how strong it shows up on the paper. So you can see those pigments are really standing out a little stronger. Okay, a blue. Let's see, we have multiple blues here, and then a purple. So I'm just trying to see if there's, okay, well, I might just show both blues because I might not have all the colors anyways. Yeah, look at that, how vivid that is. Nice and vivid. Let's try this blue here. Beautiful. Another thing I noticed though is when I'm putting this on, all of the dust particles are, it's messier, right? So these are making more of a mess than these were. So that's something to take note of. I'm going to keep, this probably is putting that out of focus. So I'm just going to put these to the side. Okay. Next color, we got green. I have 2 different greens on this as well. So I'm going to go with 2 greens to showcase the 2. Darker green. That's the darker green, by the way. And a lighter green. So look at all those pigments. Let's see if I can zoom in more without losing focus. You can see the mess of pigments, which may or may not be a good thing for you. The next one was a peach tone. Sounds like we got some neighbors doing their yard work today. So this peach tone, let's see. It's going to give us a little more bold color, and yes, it does. And purple. No surprise, these are all showing up stronger. I don't have a gray, so I'm going to skip that one. Go into white. So the white, not that different really in my opinion. Messier, but not hugely different. A little, definitely little. Orange. Nice and bold, as expected. Got a pink. Now we don't have a red in this set. That is possibly the red. And a yellow. Let's pull the yellow and see. So you could use these to brighten up areas of your piece if it allows us to layer on top. So let's try layering on top. So I'm just going to give a little space. Just give this a little bit. We can give this a smudge or just blow on it. There we go. Dust particles be gone into the art space. Okay, let's start with one of these. I want to see if I can layer on top. So for instance, the flower, if I want to bring a brighter yellow on top. Oh, that's the peach. I wanted orange. Oopsie. Okay, so let's get our orange going. And you will get some dust particles coming off of it. You can smudge with your finger. What I want to know is, can I put... So if I show you what it's like if I'm trying to put a yellow on top of this one, you can see it kind of almost pulls the color off underneath. Kind of like when you're painting wet on wet sometimes. And that's not really, like, it was a nice smooth look before, and now I've created this slightly unpleasant look. And so if I were to try to go back on top, look, we're just making it worse. So we're just pulling color off. So that's where my frustration comes in. So let's try adding in some with the block and see if it's just, you know, could be my paper's just not holding up. So I can't easily add on top. Looks like that area's been compromised. Let's try if I just do the one layer. My orange. Nice. I'm going to try a lighter layer because I'm working on a smoother surface. These need to be able to hold on to something, they need a little bit of a rough surface. So we're going to try a rough surface after this and see if we can do something a little different. So now I'm going to try adding some yellow on top. So that worked better. You can blend it in a little bit. So definitely you can layer a little bit, but if I was to go on top of that, I don't know how much it's going to be able to hold. And like I said, it could be the paper, not just this particular material. Now let's try blending just with these to see how it compares. I'm going to go with side by side so you can see the full comparison. So that's, I mean, it covers a large space when you hold it on its side. And then we could add some yellow. We could add some white. And yes, you can blend with your fingers. Your fingers do have oils, so keep that in mind. But okay, so definitely I feel like I could keep playing with these a little bit more, you know, adding in some textures and things a little bit more than with the pastel pencils. You can see the difference. Look at my little fingerprint. It definitely is a pretty big difference. Now, so a different brand might offer a little more. I don't know, I haven't tried yet, but we're just looking at this Generals one. So it depends on what you're going for, but again, if we go back to, you know, our pieces here, there is still a beauty to it. I just prefer a little more contrast in my work. But this one, there's an effective mood with this lonely character in this scene. There's something about that. It works for this particular scene. And this was my first try at these pencils, so just, you know, starting to figure things out. But there's some areas where it is more effective than others. So that's a little look at those. Let's try a different surface and see how that affects things. Okay, before trying a different texture surface, I want to try a white surface. So this is a mixed media vellum surface in white paper. So I would like to try this. This is a 400 series. And see how these work on here. Let's take a few, do a bit of a comparison chart here. Just do a few little swatches, test it out. It is really nice that these don't make a huge mess, but still have that kind of blendability. I just wish that they would work well together, play together a little nicer, play nice with each other. And the white underneath is giving a brightness to them because of the white. White on white, let's see. Oh, it was a little dirty, so you got a little blue. All the colors in the same order that I just did them on the black. That's the pink. Here's the red. And here's the yellow. Oh, that yellow is nice and strong on there. Okay, so the colors, you know, they're stronger if we compare side by side. What we just did. Okay. They're definitely showing up stronger because of the white paper, right? Makes sense. Let's take a quick look at some of these here. So let's go. And you're going to see how they, again, kind of rub off the pigments, kind of break away. A bit messier. And also you'll notice, like, I'm trying to do a little circle. Which one has a tighter circle? So if you're trying to do kind of a finer detail, then these might be the right option. And there could be a more advanced brand, let's say, that that does better. Now this one is dirty on the outside, so that's another thing. My color's not clean, neat and tidy. Okay, so you kind of get the point, right? But I feel the need to finish them all. Let's go faster. Do, 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 do. Move, move, move it. I'm always making up my own little songs. They're nothing special. I just love music and singing. But my dog sings with me, so it's kind of hard to sing in the house now. Okay, I think I got all the colors. So you can see little powdery powder messes. And we can blow away. Let's see how they blend on this paper. I'm going to do the same thing so that we have the same comparison. So I've got my orange. We're going to do it twice. Might as well do it now. And then I'm going to go on top of this one here with yellow. It makes it kind of a yellowy orange color. What if I want to just add a highlight with white? Not working super well, but let's try adding this to that one. I think because underneath is white, you're not noticing that struggle like we did in this one here, in the black. We had that struggle because the black shows through. If the white shows through on here, it's almost in our benefit rather than a problem. So let's try adding some yellow here. See if we can kind of layer on top of this guy with our block pastels. And yeah, it works pretty well. Get blended out a bit with our finger. It works pretty well, right? And then we can go in with our block pastels alone. And it allows us to do some layering. Again, this is the same paper type as the black, only it's different color. So there's some blendability when it comes to a white background. We're not going to go into other colors. There's lots of different colors you can use and pastel specific papers as well. What I want to try next and lastly is on watercolor paper, because watercolor paper, when it's cold pressed anyways, has a rough surface. So I'm going to see how that works with our pastel pencils. Okay, so this is a Strathmore 300 series. I think it's pretty old. Sometimes I get, supplies from other people, and they're kind of hand-me-down supplies, and I love it. And it's 140 pounds, heavyweight paper that accepts a variety of watercolor media and techniques. It's a rough surface, it says. So let's give it a go. It says it's acid-free, which is good too. All right. Let's give it a go. Let's try it out. So what I'm going to do is just try out some maybe kind of petal shapes like I would have done in my previous piece. Now, if you're blending with your fingers, just remember that you're blending with your fingers. So your fingers need to be clean. There we go. So if I want to blend, I need to make sure that my fingers don't have the wrong color for blending on them. You can also use blending tools. I'm just doing kind of a petal or leaf shape right now. We're going to add some yellow into it. Take that vibrancy up a notch. I do like the control that it gives me. And as you can see, when I start blending it, then we take away some of that rough surface. And then if I take the red, I do like I can make very, more precise types of marks. I'm gonna bring in some more orange. A little more yellow right in here. We're just playing now, figuring it out, seeing how it works together, if we can blend better. I do think I need to do another one of these little swatches to see, how well does it play with our comparison chart type of dealio that we were doing. If I want to blend that better, I might need to use something a little bit more precise than my finger. But let's see if I try to add white on top of this, how that's going to work out. If it's going to accept my white. It's a little hard to tell if it's accepting it. Let's try a different color entirely and see if that accepts it. Maybe green. Maybe a green and see, although that won't look great. Maybe just to kind of see if I can draw some lines on top of it. So it's definitely holding it up better, which is exciting because that means these do have a greater capacity than maybe I first gave them credit for. But when you look at these mixed media papers, they do say that they're made for the use of pastels, but it doesn't really seem to indicate that, maybe not ideally pastels. Maybe it works okay, but it's not great per se. And I don't know if I can get the white. One thing I was kind of doing is just kind of scratching off with my finger some of the powder. So at times I was doing that. Now let's see if we can add a little bit of our block pastel if we wanted to add white here. Yeah, it's picking it up. It's picking it up. So definitely this paper, because of the roughness of it, is holding it better. So definitely making sure that you're using the right tools for what you're working with. So let's try that little experiment what we were doing before. So the orange. The yellow. I just need to find black watercolor paper. See how that goes. Does that even exist? Do you know? I've never seen black watercolor paper. I don't know if that's a real thing. It's hard to tell if the white is... I'm pressing a little hard. I don't know if that's probably not the right thing to do, because I'm too much pressure on our materials doesn't add up to a positive experience. Let's try just the block now. So what's cool is you can get some nice textures because the paper is already textured. And then you want to kind of, if you want it to smooth out, smooth it out. You can go back in with a little more, see how it picks up more. So you're going to be able to hold more. Just think of it as like a smooth surface. It's not going to hold as much as something that's, you know, rough around the edges. You're going to have pockets throughout. Did you like my visual there? So definitely this surface is making a big difference. So my projects in the future, I don't feel super confident using a vellum surface for my pastels in the future, but I might be inclined to give it a try just to see with a different type of pastel, would that work better? Here we go with a black, just crazy. The crazy black in there. So you can just play. Move things around, blend, blend, blend. And if your finger has another color on it, you're going to make it dirty. So have fun. So I think I'm still quite happy with this purchase. I think I can do a lot with it. Like if I was doing some letters. I'm doing some letters. And then if you use maybe something to blend it, like a Q-tip. Or, you know, those pastel blending tools. I've even heard makeup brushes. You know, this could be kind of the underneath blend. I'm trying to kind of give it that hazed look a bit. Blurring out the edges. And then if you went in with a strong color like, well, maybe the blue. Let's go in with the blue. And you bring it on top. You can make some really cool effects. So I'm excited to maybe try some projects on a watercolor surface with these. And maybe give, for the black paper anyways, give these a try and see if I can create something that I'm a little more happy with how it turns out. A little less moody, perhaps. Maybe just a line of red to highlight. And just having fun with it. Do a little bit of play. Maybe try to get some pastel paper in there. Real pastel paper. And see what difference that makes in this whole thing. And I like that it comes in this container. I can just put them like this and just, it's very satisfying to just bloop like that. And then they stay really well. Great for traveling, creating as you go. Ooh, my little watercolor sketchbook. Could try with that. Definitely some mixed media ideas come into mind now. Exciting. So now that you've seen these pastel pencils in action, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. Do you have experience with another pastel pencil that is your favorite, or a pastel something, paper, something? Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite and you're like a pastel king or queen, like you just, you know pastels. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you next time, but make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Bye now.